And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to have like a conversation here in the main room. We're going to bring out any other presenters that are still available, and we're going to have a little panel. We're going to ask some questions. And then we have some entertainment coming out in less than an hour, which is actually Peter's cousin. Matthew, oh, Bob Donovan. Bob Donovan, are you part of the family?
Bob's my cousin.
Same last name. Oh, got it. Are you the brother of Matthew or somewhere?
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
My cousin loved to hear that one.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, you got a Donovan and a Mark, so you fall better on the other side.
Yeah, well, I'm his dad.
Dad?
Thank you. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Oh, that's when you said that you go back into the 48s.
Yeah,
That's right. That's why I said it with the recordings, you know.
Oh, so you're as old as my parents.
Oh, yes. Yes. In fact, I probably knew your mother. You're down in Miami?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I probably saw your mother at the barn years ago.
I don't think so. You would see her in the barn. That would be upstate New York.
No. It was called The Barn, and it was a nightclub on the causeway going over to Miami Beach.
Not my
Ask
mom.
her about it. No, oh, she was up in New York State at that time?
She's a New York Stater. No, I'm the one who lives here.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Mom
Well,
would know.
unless she was up near the Red Apple Rest. Have you ever heard of that on 17, going up to the Catskills?
She was in the Adirondacks way up.
Adirondacks, okay. Okay.
Oh, cool beans. So cool. We got family affair going on here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we love Peter, and maybe apples don't fall far from the tree. Who knows what gifts he might have, right?
All right.
What are you skilled at?
Being retired. I'm retired from being retired. I do volunteer work now.
But you did.
I was vice president of a very small life insurance company, which means I don't really know a lot. I had people, it was one of those guys that had people that did things for me. And I'm very impressed with the way that you're handling the whole program on this type of platform. I think it's terrific. I really do. I think it's very well done. This is the way things are going to go. I was talking with some folks in Europe the other day, and in Poland, they were putting a festival on, and they had to, they could only sell 300 tickets outside. And then there was 700 people that came, and they made it a hybrid event. So I think things are going to go more and more hybrid. And as we go to LinkedIn events and things of that nature, what you're doing and the experience that everybody that's been participating and having is fantastic. This is terrific what you're doing. It really is.
Thank you. Well, it's my joy to bring everyone together from anywhere and around the world, whether it's like let's see, it's 6, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning for Leon, right? Mm-hmm. Almost 2 o'clock. Leon, what time is it?
Almost 3.
Almost 3.
Me.
Then okay, like that's when we're talking like we're really working around the world. I love
Absolutely.
It. And, it's kind of cool that you can have someone just meeting someone from one place to another and just a heartbeat. And we don't have to go anywhere. So thank you for being here. Appreciate that. So let's see who's still in the house here. We have Peter, Julian, Leon, Patricia, and any of the other speakers that we need to bring out. And we'll do a little panel, and then we'll have Matthew come out. I know he's taking a nap or getting ready, something. Let's see who's still in the house. Monique is in the room. Just Monique, I think. I think we can work with what we have right now. I'll just make a quick little announcement, a broadcast.
I really liked Monique's session, Sherry.
Yeah, she's a great teacher. She really explains things really easily.
Yeah, I might be interested in taking her tarot course.
Totally. Yeah. She makes it like really understandable to when she does her tarot, she lays out her tarot in an astrology. She does the whole she lays out her cards like in the whole planet. So like she lays down the card, bam, 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 bam. So she's like pretty much reads it based on where the cards fall. So
Yeah, I
everybody,
like it.
cool. So we have in the room, we have Patricia and Leon, Julian, and Peter. And so we got about 4 of us, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions for a little bit, if you don't mind. And we're going to open it up to a panel. And so I'd like to bring the speakers on stage, which would be Peter, Julian, Leon, and Patricia.
And Monique,
Where is she?
is she there?
I don't see her here. She might be. She's in the room somewhere. Monique is in her own room. So she's with a Miss K. I think she's with the other Miss K, which would be Pamela. No, I'm really confused because there's a lot of Miss K's today. That's really weird that we have Miss K's. And I've accused her of trying to win 3 prizes today. I'm like, hey, listen, lady, you know, don't take advantage of this, like, so that's kind of really weird. We're getting like so many Miss K's. So
Julian.
who's that?
Maybe it's my cousin.
No,
No?
Julian with us?
Oh,
Cool beans. All right, guys. We'll do a little bit of a chat. I want to ask you guys some questions. And I was asking my guides about like, what is it that people want to know about? And they go, what are you really good at? And they said that you're really resilient, Sherry. And I'm like having this conversation with my guides, and I'm having this like conversation back and forth. I'm like, okay, how many other people are resilient like you? What have people gone through in their life that they might say, I can't believe I got through this? Because I see clients all the time, and I kind of find out what their traumas are in their life, and we have to get to their core. But we really uncover a lot of stuff that's going on that really makes them realize how much they've succeeded or survived, and what they can really do to thrive. So, so without like, it depends on how much you want to share with us today of your tenacity of what brings you here today, whether you might have had a past life, rebirth, where you might have had accidents, you might have, you had accidents and you had to carry your bicycle back to your apartment and they thought that you should take an ambulance, or they told you were gonna, if you didn't do chemo, you were gonna die. If you didn't do the COVID, you're gonna die. What makes you resilient? What makes you keep going? There's always something that says you're not going to do this, but if you don't, this is going to happen. We're going to say, no, we're going to do it my way. So resilience to me is like doing it kind of like a little bit of your way. Like I'm a fighter. I'm an eternal survivor, and I'm going to do it my way or the highway. And I'll start with my little story without giving it a little away. I was 29 years old, and I was told that I had a life-threatening illness. And I literally, if I didn't take the poison, I was going to die. And I was 29 years old, and there was only so many options in my life that I could do at that time. And I had really had to say, okay, I'm going to like become the ultimate sponge and figure out what I'm going to do in order to survive this. And I took so many alternative medicines that I couldn't even do anymore. I took so many vitamins and minerals, and I went to so many doctors and so many places in order to be here on this planet. Like I couldn't believe, like this is my everything in order to be here today, because I said I was not going to let that illness dictate my life. So that was my moment in my life where I said, hell no. And that was when March 4th of 1998. Wait, 1998, 1994, 1994, guys. So, we always remember those moments, the moment, the minute. Sometimes I had an accident, I could have died. I had a heart attack, I had an aneurysm. But what brings you back to that moment, that point in your life, whether, again, even like observing mom beating dad or dad beating mom or someone dying, but you decided, I'm not going to give up and I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I start?
Who would like to go? Go ahead,
Okay.
Leon.
May I start? Okay.
Yeah.
My resilience path. Some accidents. When I was 5, I was playing with my best friend at the time on top of the garage. It's his house. So this is what, 3.5 meters height. And he was jumping. He jumped down on his legs, and I was afraid. And it was tin roof, so it has this fold on top, I was thinking, okay, if I don't jump that high, just a little bit, I won't fall that much down, that hard. So I jumped just a little bit, and my legs caught this fold, and I fell directly on my nose. So my head didn't broke. Concrete did.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And that's a funny story. I mean, for Bosnians are saying that they have really hard heads. Well, because of that incident, I'm telling people that I'm Bosnian. The second thing is I was 24, I believe.
So what happened? Did you smash your face in?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. You just broke
Okay,
your
some
tongue.
blood from my nose, but that's it.
Okay.
I cracked my nose when I was in 7th grade, so this is what, 14, 15 years, 10 years after, something like this, more. So, and 24, driving my father's car, he just replaced the transmission, had few beers at the festival, haven't eaten nothing, and they were Irish beers, strong ones, 9-10%, and just enough to have elephant balls, and I was doing 180 kilometers on a very narrow road, cars on one side, and 100 meters down a river, and went into straight, no problem, went into the forests, put the gas down, start gently braking, not much gently, and then the first corner came. I saw that I was doing 160 still, braked a lot, and the next thing I remember that I was going I heard the gravel under my tires. I pulled the wheel, and then I slide at 150 meters into a tree. So the police calculated that I was driving 140 kilometers per hour when I was hitting the tree. So by any means, I should be dead.
So you had a head on and then you had a face on. So, you know.
Yeah, but the catch is I wasn't sliding, I wasn't hitting tree like this directly, but like this on corner, slightly on corner. So all the force went through passenger seat.
Okay, so again, this is not your fault, right?
None of my fault, right? That's another. And what? 10 years ago, my wife and we were coming back from our vacation in Tunisia, and we were flying to Bolzano in Italy. That's 7 hours from here, and we had time, so we stopped in Verona and blah 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 blah, and we were driving on 6-lane highway, and I was overtaking. The truck was overtaking another truck, and I was overtaking that truck. And I'm a very cautious driver. Can drive fast, but I know what is happening around me on every lanes, at least 200 kilometers in all, 200 meters in all directions. I'm already parallel to both trucks, and out of the blue, a car is next to me. So 3 lanes, 1 car, me, truck, and he's pushing me towards truck. Somehow.
Okay, and then what happened?
I push the brakes. And push the brakes, pull, and hard. So this was 130 kilometers per hour. And we were in small car. Push the brakes and just pull back. Yeah. This should happen.
You didn't flip? You didn't go around?
No.
No?
Nothing happened. Nothing.
You just were able to slow down and go to the side of the road?
The car stayed like on railroad. It was flat on. Never moved. Not a bit. Just brakes, vroom, and back. It was crazy.
So that was another close call. So we're not going to ask you yet what you learned about these experiences, because I want you to just kind of reflect on these close calls in your life, okay? These moments of every time we take a deep breath, every time we hold our breath is when our chakras shut down. And people don't realize these moments of and everything goes beep, 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 beep. Like, when does it start? 6 years old, 12 years old, 16, like 21. I just like, this fell down. I fell down. This one accident. You know, we have to kind of look at when does all this begin? This like chaos. You seem to be, I hate to say, a little accident prone, but you're not accident prone. You just like to say I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, basically.
No,
right?
no.
No.
The first one, okay, the child, I shouldn't be jumping normally. The second one, I was drinking. The third one, that was actually an attempt on my wife's life. Really. Because that car wasn't there at all.
Jumping, drinking to a potential possible murder attempt?
You know.
Oh, yeah, that happens every day.
Almost.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I just like had a little release on that in my throat. So we'll come back to that. Thank you for sharing all these potentials, as possibilities, possible fatal fatalities from your wife or you possibly having the head on into the tree. Even to you falling, smashing your potential face as a child, and it didn't, no, you didn't get damaged.
No. Then I fell, 7th grade when I broke my nose. I fell on my head from 1 meter. It was like this, but my nose was like this. And that was 3 meters direct, nothing.
So you're lucky you have a nose, basically.
Yeah. I do have problem breathing sometimes, but this is because broken nose. It's not straight. It never
So-
was.
So have you ever almost like had an almost near-death experience?
Oh, near death caused by doctors. Now the car, yes, the accident, the light flashed in front of my eyes from the day I was born to that day, with all the mistakes, everything. So never when I went to doctors the next day because of my shoulder, and afterwards I told him what happened, and when I smashed my head into the window, and yeah, he said that you shouldn't be alive at all. Not with those injuries, because car keeps spinning and energy dissipated, but the car was actually in pretty much good shape somehow. No one knows how, but okay.
So how many lives do you think you should have possibly died already and you're still here? Just a quick
Around
answer.
12.
12 lives, okay.
The
Okay.
other ones were attempting to shorten my experience here on Earth.
Yeah.
We will come back to those. And we'll
No,
touch
no,
base.
no, no, no.
I just wanted to touch base to see what we're dealing with here. You know, even though you fell down or possibly almost head-on injury, whatever it may be, you're still here. They had 12 possible attempts to die and you didn't die. You're still here to tell your story.
Yeah.
So Peter, can you
Yes.
top that? Do you have some experience as a child into adulthood that
I'm
makes
gonna
you-
top that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
top
can
that
Can
experience.
you top that? Yeah, top all those.
I'm sorry, I need 2 hours. I can't top that. Truthfully, I'll divulge it, but it hurt a little. But
I can imagine.
when I was younger, when I was born, I was, in fact, my parents took me to a doctor. The doctor said that there's something wrong with him. And my parents looked at the doctor and said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, doctor said he's got severe dyslexia.
Mhm.
So my parents said, okay. And they said, don't expect too much from him because he's not going to be that highly intelligent, and put him in technical or trade school. So that had a major impact on me. And then I thought about that for a while. And my grandmother, on my father's side, my grandmother, when she passed, me on the day she passed, and she told me that I was going to be doing something very, very important in the world. And my grandmother, Anita, said to me that she came to me and she told me what she actually saw. And I went to my parents, and my parents said, "Who came to you last night?" And I said, "Grandma Anita." And when I told my parents, they took me to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said, "Well, besides having dyslexia, he seems fairly normal." So I didn't have what Leon went through, but
How has that made you tenacious?
it's made me tenacious because I come from a family of very high achievers.
Mhm.
A family, Harvard, Radcliffe, whatever. And I didn't feel at a certain age that I could achieve those goals. And I started to slowly challenge myself. And I figured, well, it's either being a garbage man, nothing the matter with that, or a janitor. And then I actually went by what my grandmother had told me when I was 11. Grandma Anita, she said, you're here for a reason, and I want you to achieve whatever your goals. I also suffered from severe depression, and a couple of times I tried to kill myself. And I was told at the time when I tried it that I had a bigger purpose than just for myself. And I tried for my whole childhood to figure out why I was here, what my life purpose was. And that was a challenge in itself, because every couple of years I said, well, I don't think I want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. And as I continued to grow up, I had obstacles neurologically that I had to deal with. I could not compete with everybody else. To be honest with you, it made me even more steadfast, because we have photographers in the family. We have brilliant musicians in the family. We have people, even my cousin Bob, he's brilliant in what he was doing. We have amazing people. And I didn't feel that I had any capability whatsoever. So, yeah, go ahead.
So your tenacity was when saying that you weren't really going to be much of yourself, even, and then look at you now, basically. They kind of put you on this different pedestal. Pedestal. You were not on a
pedestal. Yeah, well, I was competing at the time with a sister who was brilliant. Columbia University, honors, Toronto, and I decided, well, I didn't decide, God decided for me, but believe it or not, I was stubborn as hell, and I was not willing to give up. Even today, I was sick today, I wasn't feeling well, but I said, I've got to go on. So see, this doesn't even compare to Leo.
Julian, you look great. We're watching you every move you make. Are you going somewhere? He's just making himself look a little better. Okay.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go and say goodbye to Sewin. She's going to Korea for months.
Oh, good. So why don't you just share with us for a moment of your tenacity of what you've overcome, to give everybody a little insight.
Same thing with Peter. Do you have a few days? Really? Wow. I found out that my mom, she miscarried twice, and she was told that she wasn't going to have a children. And then all of a sudden I showed up, but a very funny thing happened, is because my godfather was the doctor, and I was born with the umbilical cord around my neck 3 times, the plasma over my face. My mom died. My godfather was calling out for my mother to come back, taking the umbilical cord off my neck. My mom came back, the cord was off, and I'm born.
Mom survived?
Mom survived. Yes.
Well, you came in with a slam, didn't you?
Slam dunk. And hello, how are you? Here I am. And mother said, Julian, you gave me 24 hours of hell. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So was there resistance of you coming into the world? What was going on?
Yeah, because I found out that I've been hung. My head has been chopped off in France. And I saw that vision very clear in Notre Dame years ago when I visited the Notre Dame. And then I went off to look for my head when I was in Paris. Yeah, I went through a lot with my throat. And it's interesting because I have all these threes in my name, as well as my birthday comes out to a 3, and I'm born on the 21st, which is communication, expression. And yeah, that was a big deal for me when I was a kid, because my mom, she walked around with a cat 9 tails, which was a strap with 9 straps. And I couldn't say anything to my sister or to anyone that was inflammatory or something that was wrong or something. So I grew up with some very powerful behaviorism.
Funny, I was thinking about like how you always wear a scarf around your neck. And I'm like, why is he always covering his neck? You know, do you have some scars on your neck? Do you have like, we don't want to see the throat? You always have normal things covering this area.
It's interesting because in college, I always wore scarves, and then later on I became a filmmaker. So I got in touch with that, you know, that filmmaker energy in the 70s. But I've always loved scarves since I was a teenager. And when I was a kid, I had the covers over my head because I didn't want to see the guy who's going to chop off my head. So I had that very clear vision in my mind that someone was going to chop off my head.
As a baby or as an infant?
As a baby, as a child.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened after you were born? What other traumas have you been through?
I had strange nosebleeds when I was a kid. And my grandfather, he sang, had a very deep voice at the Greek Orthodox Church. And so my sister and I, we went and visited the Church in Jesus every Sunday. And we always also, we shared a room with bunk beds when we were kids. I had the top, she had the bottom. And we always said the prayers before we went to sleep. Prayers of our Father, prayers to the Mother, as well as a prayer to the angels. 3 prayers. And one night, and I was around 7, 8 years old, where my sister was sleeping and I was in front of the painting with Jesus. And the next thing is I'm looking and Jesus is in a yoga position and he's staring at me. And thus we became very good friends because I looked at him and said, I always see you on your cross. What are you doing in that position? And it's wild because before I walked, I used to freak out my parents and I used to walk on my knees in a yoga position, you know? And he just smiled and we became very good friends at 7, 8 years old.
Were you a skinny kid when you were young? Skinny kid?
I always had long legs and a little body and a head. So yeah, I was very strange looking until I was like late teenager. I looked like I was an extraterrestrial.
We're all extraterrestrial.
And because of my parents and who they were and my status in the community and all that, I always dressed differently than the other kids. I wore purple shirts before anyone wore purple shirts in an Irish Italian neighborhood.
You were a little fluffy?
I just loved Violet. And when I separated from my sister, my parents created my own room in the house. We lived in a 150-year-old house.
You always liked Violet, huh? Interesting.
Flushing, Queens.
Where? Flushing? I lived in Flushing.
There you go. I lived right across the street from Booth Memorial Hospital.
I was born at Booth Memorial.
There you
That's what my
go.
cousin studied to be a dentist.
And I was born in Astoria General. So, what was I talking about? Yeah,
Purple.
So-
Purple,
I forgot my
indigo.
frame of thought. Oh, well.
You always saw purple in your life.
Oh, yeah. So, my parents, they went from their huge bedroom to, they created a room, next to theirs. And, it was a small room, but it became my cave with everything. I was like, I guess I connected with my Japanese because the culture of Japan, and I went there for a number of days. Everything is like compact. So in this room, I had my my posters with black lights, a TV, a stereo, and it was violet. I painted it violet, purple.
So what is this right now? This is just a jam? This is just everybody,
Oh, there
It was
you are.
psychiatric session.
Oh, hey, Elle, I'm asking the practitioners today
Huh?
a question of tenacity.
ah,
Tenacity.
Tenacity.
One more thing, I was supposed to die when I was almost 11 years old. I was in an accident, and it was a near-death experience with everything else, and I was supposed to die. My spleen was taken out. I had broken bones, internal injuries, and even the doctors told my parents that your son will probably die. And then they came back and said, your son will live, but he'll probably have a mental condition. And then they came back and said, we don't know what's going on with your son. And in the meantime, I was in Mount Vernon, and it was a car truck. My father used to drive in the 60s a bakery truck.
gotcha.
So make a long story short, the sun was coming up. I went on his route for the first time, and he had the keys to all the restaurants and baking goods and stuff. A woman was late for work. She took a road that wasn't opened yet, and she streamed with her Cadillac across this road, and she didn't see the truck, and she hit the side of the truck. It turned around, door open, and I flew out 30 yards.
Boy.
I've got so many stories that are insane, very, very similar.
Yeah,
And
and I hit the
I believe that God in the universe has an amazing plan for us all. It's just like I'm getting chills of validation because Julian, you are an amazing gift. And whenever you speak, you resonate with everybody's soul, and you make them feel like they belong. Then you make them feel like they're on course. You make them feel like they're doing exactly what they're meant to be doing, and that they're in that proper alignment. So you are an angel from the heavens that the universe celebrates and wouldn't let you go anywhere.
we celebrate all the time, every day, every moment,
Yes.
every breath is a celebration.
You do constantly on Instagram and all the posts that you do. It's just an infinite blessing, which is who you are. I love
Thank
you.
So Elle, why don't you, thank you, Julian. I'm sure we have a lot more you're only at 11 years old. I can imagine how many more accidents you've had in your life.
At 15, and there's many, and then we can talk about alien abductions at another time.
Okay, so we'll go into another aspect of the questions today. And so I just kind of wanted to see, like, where did it all begin, kind of thing. So like Peter, it all started, and where did it all start? Like, when was your first fall? When did we kind of fall on our face, basically? Or when was our first wake up call when we said, oh God, and we have to keep going? So we only kind of touched base, Leon, like whether he like fell from the roof or ran into a tree or ran off the road, and Peter trying to prove himself with the family. That seems to be his thing, is trying to prove yourself, apparently. With the
I know
family.
when I was
Sure.
5, I was in Long Beach and I fell in the pool, and I could see everybody and nobody even noticed me for a while. And I could see looking up and being underwater and thinking that, and somehow, some way I'm still here. But what really got me heavy into spirituality is I kept having near-death accidents. I crushed 6 vertebrae, I smashed my tailbone, I smashed my ankle. I've had like nonstop accident after accident. And getting into spirituality, when I got like heavy, I never had another accident. I never had another. I think the biggest fender bender is I was at Walt Whitman Mall in Huntington, and a woman backed into my car and just touched my car a little bit and paid for the damages. But that's before I got into heavy hitter inner child work and healing and the whole plethora of what I needed to go through to become what I know and what I do.
So what does that little bump have to do with your life?
I should have died. I was underwater for so long.
No, the lady who bumped you, you said.
No, but I'm just saying I had accident after accident that were very, I was in San Diego and I was in a Baja bug and I was going up and down the dunes and they had a car accident and I was thrown up about 60 feet and I crushed 6 vertebrae and I had internal bleeding and I was in a coma for 3 days and, I had nonstop crazy shit happen.
Wow.
And I'm good.
Are you accident prone?
I haven't had an accident in 35 years.
Wow. God bless.
Nothing. Thank you, God. Nothing. Barely a trip.
I have a lot of those.
Just like the guys here, the guys here have had accidents, but they have different kinds of accidents, whether you're either the passenger or the driver, who knows what it is, whether you fell on your face or smashed your head or almost punctured lungs, you're still here to say, I'm not dying. Right?
Is this going into a book? Is this going into a book?
I think so, baby. Sherry,
if this is going to a book.
Chapters. It's either the expo or the book that's going to make you famous, Sherry.
I think I'm going to head toward the book.
I think it needs to be a movie.
A
movie?
I'm executive.
Are you going to direct it?
I could do that, baby.
I'm saying that, or a series.
A series.
TV.
That's even better.
I think we're infinite. Absolutely serious.
What keeps us all going. Monique, why don't you share for a moment what's kept you going? Anything happened in your life that makes you tenacious?
That's a great question. That makes me tenacious. I really just I like sharing. That's what makes me tenacious. I like I always say my superpower is to take really arcane information and make it digestible to people. So that's what the excitement is for me, when I can take something as deep as astrology or tarot or Ayurveda, whatever it is, and make it practical for someone.
I don't think you understood the question.
I just want to say something, sweetheart. I met you today and I fell in love with you. You are brilliant, you are present, you are intuitive, you are exquisite. And welcome to the family, sweetheart. You're magnificent.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what's the question? What makes me tenacious?
What has happened to you in your life? Whether you had a possible accident, disease, what is made you kind of gasp for your breath? Not about you doing your tarot and astrology.
Okay. Well, I've had several challenges. Yeah.
We want to know, who are we? Like, who are people dealing with? You know, we're, you know, even though we're healers and readers, we're still on our journey of trying to be the wounded warrior, repairing ourselves. We're not really fixed yet, you know?
I, honestly, I had childhood asthma. I don't have it anymore, but I was once hospitalized. I was one of those people in a plastic bubble for packed on ice for about 2 weeks. That was one of the experiences at a very young age. I was had an experience where I almost drowned as well. And I've just had a lot of physical that I've had to overcome. So I still always have to manage my pain. So
Do you have pain?
yes, I've always lived with it. So I've gotten better, and that's kind of what gets me into all of the things that I do.
And why
If
you,
you want to call me, I'll help you get rid of the pain, sweetheart, because
Okay.
but that's what spirituality did for me. I had a thing called coccydynia. You just touch me like this, and a neurologist says you have to learn how to live with it. I raised my vibration, and boom, I'm good to go. But that I can help you with if your heart so desires, and I would do it purely out of love.
Oh, thank you. Very good.
you know, what's funny is like the story is like, Leon, you're a great storyteller. You'll be really great on Clubhouse because you like to captivate and you like to keep the story going. You know, you told us 3 great stories in 15 minutes of this almost happened, and you really got us almost to being there. Okay. So you're really good at, you know, your experience, and people need, and Clubhouse wants to know, what have you survived? What are you great at? And why are we doing what we're doing? Because like, we keep going. No matter what knocks us down, we keep getting ourselves up. Okay. So there's many things in our lives, whether our parents got divorced or we were told that we're not going to graduate college and we're never going to be enough. Or I lost my business. I had a $500,000 business and 9 employees, and I was escorted out by police. Yeah, I got knocked down on my ass. And, you know, there's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that you don't know what keeps us going and why do we keep going? You know, it's not just about having an accident or falling off the roof, but it's also like last year. You know, last year I had this roommate living with me that wouldn't pay rent. I almost killed her. What keeps you going? You know, like, why did we get out of bed last year? You know, why, I kept my business going. We kept our health going. You know, I think I was so busy last year, more than I've been in my life, just so I wouldn't die. You know, I kept myself so busy so I wouldn't be bored. I know I wasn't going to let anything external like corrupt me. So I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep myself occupied and busy. And that's me, at the Capricorn in me. I don't know about the Capricorns in the room, but I'm just a little busy Capricorn. So anybody else felt that way?
Well, I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn.
You're a
and everybody
Capricorn.
knows me. It looks
And
like
I'm
my
a
wheels are
Capricorn.
spinning
And you're a
24/7.
Capricorn.
I'm
What?
going and going and going. And sometimes they say when you're doing that so you don't have to feel, you know, that you're just, what's the word? Reaching, grabbing, and making as magnificent as you can, you know, enjoying the moment, because there's a certain part of us that's still not completely settled. I'd like to feel like I'm in a good energetic place, and that I'm blessed in a lot of different ways. And, you know, we went through hell and back with the COVID, but I'm still standing strong. I was doing the main stage, but at that time I had a manager who got drunk that we had to let go. And I had a friend of mine who was doing a interviewing and filming downstairs with all kinds of different things happening. If you see my Facebook and you see the band that's going on now, they're over the hook. So it was like today was a day where I had so many things going on, and to try to stay totally present was a little bit of a challenge, but you know, I gave love and I did a tremendous healing with one of the ladies here, and you know, good stuff came out of it. But I think that we're very similar in the sense that we're gonna make things happen. We're gonna change the world in magical, beautiful ways. And Sherry, you're an exquisite gift. You brought us all together. We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you.
That's
And
what I was
all
gonna
of
bring up.
you appreciate you and celebrate you. So, yay, Sherry! Sherry Kaplan's in the house. Woo, woo!
Cool. So we're watching Julian go to meet Suyan to go enjoy her last weekend away. And in a little bit, we're gonna have Matthew come out and have us close out the night. But I'd like to hear a little bit more from Monique and Peter. Because Peter, I think when I asked you about tenacity, it was all about, I think, more of mental. You know, you've been challenged mentally with your family, you know, challenging your ability to be who you are, basically. That's been your biggest issue, not a physical issue, more about a family conflict.
Well, I've had physical issues, but mine pretty much has come from a lot of pain. I mean, I'm going through the process now of getting in touch with the child inside of me. I was bullied, I was beaten up growing up. I had a lot of challenges. I had to stand up for myself.
Wait, you said you were bullied, did you say?
Oh, bullied, where we grew up, I was beaten up every day.
Aw, I was bullied.
I was bullied, and I got to the point where I said, "To hell with this, I'm gonna fight back." But what's brought me to this, even people say to me, "Aren't you happy with what you've achieved so far?" No. I'm not happy. I want to continue to grow. You know, somebody said to me, "Well, how do you feel about being in books and newspapers?" So what? I want to help people. I want to help. I want to help heal other people that have gone through what I've gone through.
Who are those people?
The group, the people that come to the expo.
So,
I'm ready to take on China, Japan, Slovenia. I mean, you know, it's true. A lot of people, and I realize this, it's not how much money you've made in life. It's not how successful you are. It's how much you've loved and how much you've helped other people.
all comes down to love, period.
It all comes down to love.
It's the only vibration in the world, basically.
That's what keeps us all inextricably connected. But I was going to say to you, I thought you were going to say, what would each one of you have done without this podium? That's what I was ready for. What would each one of us be doing if we didn't have this podium in our lives?
Okay, let's ask that question. We got 5 minutes.
All right. And I'm staying on because I want to hear my cousin play and sing. Yeah, the podium before Elle, and there was a reason why I connected with Elle, and from Elle brought me to this. I had no idea years ago I'd be doing this. I had no idea. I said, all right, God, what's the next step? And I really believe that our lives are not by chance. God has a plan for all of us if we'll listen to that still little small voice inside of us, which is the little kid. So that in a nutshell, I think we're all here to support, help one another, but we're also here to grow. And I also think that we're here to help, pre, post COVID-19. More and more people are coming out. They want to start living their lives again. They want to be happy again. We've gone through one of the worst depressions, I think, besides 1929, the Depression, and the 1917 what is it, the bubonic plague. In our living right now, we've gone through one of the worst pandemics I think that we've experienced in history. But we're here to help people. As we heal people, we will be healed.
That's how you met me. I did 22 days of transformation, and you found me,
Absolutely.
and you were in a place that wasn't your favorite, and now
No.
you are in your favorite place because you're spectacular, wonderful, and a brilliant light.
Thank you.
Love you.
Spectacular, brilliant, and wonderful.
Keep on, keep it on, keep it on. Come on, I want to hear more
You're
and more.
sexy, incredible man, you.
You gotta, like, geez. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. It all comes down to acknowledgement and
Yes,
feeling
it
worthy, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And I'm waiting to
Yeah.
hear the store tonight.
The star, your cousin, I know.
My
we
cousin.
can't wait. This is so cool. So this has been a great share, everybody. This is kind of like what we want to do, is what I want to do on Clubhouse or Spotify, whatever platform we decide to choose. This doesn't have to be Zoom, doesn't have to be once a month. We can just hang out and shoot the shit like this anytime,
That's
And
your Wednesdays, right, baby doll? That's your heavy hitter Wednesdays.
what's that?
That's your Wednesdays, right? Your networking Wednesdays.
It's whatever. Nah, that's not it. I'm beyond that already. I'm ready to pass that on the torch to somebody else at this point. It's only so long that I can do something, I try to make it work, and then if it doesn't work, I move on.
That's a Capricorn.
That's a Capricorn, or the
Okay.
the manifester in me. Yeah, guys, got to do your design. Human design is so cool. Goodness. So, do we have Matthew in the house yet?
He's
here?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there's the
How you doing,
Present.
cuz?
Oh,
Oh, how
cool.
Hello,
Great.
cousin.
How you doing,
Greeting
buddy?
you all from the galaxies.
Yes, we love the galaxies.